Hello and welcome to my channel. Dear students, today I am going to teach you the first chapter of your first flight book, A Letter to God. It's a beautiful story written by G.L. Fuentes. So in today's video, particularly I'll discuss with you about the theme of the video, the summary of the lessons, as well as we shall have a brief study about the different characters that are involved in this particular story. At the end of the video, I will be providing you some questions for better comprehension of the text. So don't forget to watch the video till end. First of all, we shall discuss what's the theme of this particular video is. The story is about the unshakable faith of a man on God. Through this story, the writer has tried to depict the invincible and insurmountable faith of a poor farmer on God. This also shows that there are some good people in the world, although they are not God, but not their deeds are not less than the God. So, dear children, this particular story has two major themes that we are going to discuss here. The first one is the faith on God. Okay, the first one will be faith on God, and the second one will be that the second point that we will discuss is that there are still some good people who exist in the world. Okay, this might sound odd to you. You may not believe that there are some good people really who exist in the world, and they do charity, they help peoples in times of need, and that is being beautifully proved by a character in this particular story. Okay, and we will also discuss about the unshakable faith of a particular common man in this story that is really commendable, that is really appreciable. Means we all should have faith like that particular man. That brings positivity to mind. So this is really a wonderful piece of story. So let us discuss the different characters that are involved in it. As far as the characters are concerned, dear children, here I have mentioned two very important characters that usually appear in the story when you go through it. The first character being Lancho. Let me tell you who Lancho was. Lancho was a farmer actually, uh, and he had immense faith on the God. He believed in God, he trusted in God, he used to worship the God every day, and he used to believe that the God really exists in the world. He listens to his prayer and queries, and he answers to all those problems in his life. So, in this way, he had invincible faith. Means it is quite difficult to say someone who has such kind of faith on the God that the God doesn't exist. Okay, if you find many times, I do find my relatives and my family members having faith on God, but being a teacher, being a student of the 21st century, I know that this is really a very difficult task to make them understand that these are not, means they do not really exist in the world. But still, we all have to respect their faith. We should not try to seek their faith. We should not try to change or alter their faith. And here we find a character of such kind, Lancho, a very common farmer. He used to grow crops in his field, and when the crops will be growing up, he would pray to the Lord and God. He would ask for rain. When the rain would come, he would get very happy, and he would, when the crop will be ready to be repent, at that particular time also he would be giving thanks to the Lord, and he would say that thank you God, you have given me a good crop. So in this way, in each and every moment of his life, he worshipped the God, he gave him thanks, and he made him responsible for each and everything that he had in his life. So this kind of fellow is Lancho. So really a wonderful personality that we find here. The second character that we find here is another tremendous man, genuine-hearted man that we find. He's a postmaster. When we go through this particular character there, we find that the postmaster was a very kind-hearted man, and when he found means that Lencho was writing a letter and had posted it to God without any address written over the envelope, there he found means what kind of man Lencho is, and he laughed a lot. But finally he got to know, he could sense the faith, he could sense the unshakable, the invincible faith of Lencho in God, and he talked with his office fellows and decided to help this Lencho, the poor farmer. So in this way, he did a great charity. He proved himself to be a great human being. That is why in the very beginning, while discussing with you the story of the theme of the story, there I mentioned that means there are good people who really exist in the world, and they only make the difference in the world. So now let us move into the summary. So dear students, I have tried to give a very brief summary over here. This summary would help you appreciate the text. It is quite difficult for me to explain you line by line, as that would be time consuming, and covering in one video is quite impossible. So that is why I have chosen this short format. I've given a very brief summary over here. You may find it very helpful, and this would really help you in making notes of this particular chapter and learn it. It has very beautifully written points also there that would help you attempt your long questions and the value-based questions that you get from chapters like this. Okay, so let us move into that and discuss about the story in detail. Lenzo was a hard-working farmer. He was expecting a good return from the field, but unfortunately his dreams were ruined by the hailstones which destroyed his crop entirely. He got disappointed with it and decided to write a letter to God asking 100 pesos for him. Finally, he wrote a letter and he went to the post office to send it. So, dear children, as I told you in the very beginning, that Lencho was a farmer. He had immense faith on the God. He believed in the God, and he thought that it is the God who listens to his queries and prayers, and he always responds to him. But once what happened, Lencho was expecting a good crop. Actually, he really was in expectation of a good rainfall. And when the rain started, Lencho started dancing, and he felt overjoyous. He felt very happy and jubilant. He believed that this year he is going to have a very good crop, and he started giving thanks to the Lord for the new raindrops. Okay, the new raindrops were really like blessings, like manna for him. Okay, it filled his heart with joy. It filled his heart with the thanks to give to the Lord. Okay, it made him very, very happy and cheerful. But within a very few minutes, everything turned. And what happened? The rain, which had started beautifully, suddenly a strong gust of wind came and turned the rain into a hailstone. And finally, the hailstone completely destroyed the field of Lancho. Now, this is really very surprising. You can't even believe, means how painful that particular moment must have been for Lencho, because the farmers can only understand the pain of the destruction of their crop. Okay, so for the last 4 months or 5 months, Lencho uh, has given his hard work in the field, and he expected a good return out of that, because it is the only source of income for him. If he gets a good return, if he gets a good crop, then that would make him happy throughout the year, and he would be planning the budget of the entire year accordingly. He will be giving or meeting the needs of the family and the children. So that is really very disappointing when you get to know when you get when you get to know that means Lenchu's crop has been destroyed. Now, dear children, let us see what happens finally. Now, when Lenchu got disappointed with the hailstones, he blamed God. He said to God that how can you be so means rude to me, and how can you destroy my crop? Okay, I had put all my hard work over here, and here the fate of my entire family was that this was the fortune of my entire family. How can you do so? So he held God responsible for this particular hailstone and the destruction of his crop, and he decided finally that you have done it, so you have to pay the compensation also. And he wrote a letter to God. So you may feel that Lencho was a mad person, but no, he was not a mad person. Rather, I feel that he was very much connected to the God. Okay, he was very much connected to God. He was very much uh, connected emotionally and spiritually. Okay, so that's why he decided to write a letter to God demanding 100 pesos in compensation so that he would be able to run his family for the entire year. Okay, so now let us see. So, but the thing is that he doesn't know where God lives. So simply he has written the letter without mentioning the address of the receiver, and he posted it in the post office. Now let us see what happens in the post office here. The postmaster had never seen someone sending a letter to God. He could not believe it and opened it to know about the facts. After going it through the letter, the postmaster felt sorry for what had happened with Lenchu. The postmaster was a very kind hearted man. He finally decided to help Lencho by sending him some money to reduce the stress and burden. He thought that Lencho does not receive anything from God, then his faith would be questioned. So he collected and sent 70 pesos to Lencho on behalf of God. So here comes the twist here, my dear children. What is happening here? So the postmaster, for the very first time in his life, in the entire career, he had never seen someone writing a letter to God. Okay, but this is the first case that he encountered, and uh, he could not stop his laugh. Even he had a laugh there along with his other employees of the office. They all laughed at the stupidity shown by this particular farmer, Lencho. Okay, but finally, within a moment after laughing, they all became silent and thought for a moment. Now, the postmaster, he rethinks over it, and he analyzes the problems of Lencho and feels that what would happen to Lencho's faith if he does not get any reply from God. Obviously, he's not going to get it since the God doesn't exist anywhere. Okay, uh, these are all superficial things. Okay, so that's why he's not going to get any kind of compensation or any kind of reply from the God in response. So what would happen to him? He would certainly, his heart will be broken, and from the very next year, he would stop believing in God. His faith in God would be questioned. So that's why the postmaster decided to do something for him. And finally, he came with an idea to support Lancho and his family members by contributing 70 pesos. What this 70 peso is coming from? This is a question, dear children. The postmasters collected this particular 70 pesos with the help of his office employees, and they all decided to help this poor farmer so that he his faith in the God remains stable, his faith in the God does not alter. Okay, but now let us see how the charity is being interpreted. When Lenchu counted the money and found it to be only 70 pesos, he got angry. He suspected the involvement of the postmaster in this act. That day, he decided to write another letter to God to complain about the rest of the money. He wrote that he received only 70 pesos out of 100 pesos sent by God. He also requested the God not to send money through mail, as the post office employees might steal his money again. So here comes the twist. Okay, a beautiful part, really. It seems to be sarcastic, but it seems to be hilarious, but still very beautiful to know. Okay, that it happens. We are all people, we are all driven by emotions. We all have the complaints and everything's in our life. We have our own way to interpret anything, and the same thing is happening with the Lencho. How he responds to the help of the charity shown by the postmaster and his employees. Let us see. So when postmaster handed uh, him over 70 pesos along with the letter, actually the letter from God. Okay, uh, they themselves had written, actually that particular letter had been written by postmaster only, and he had also uh, given his signature in place of the sender. Okay, so that Lencho would believe that it is the God who has really answered his question, and he has sent him some sort of compensation, some help actually. So now let us see how this thing is being interpreted. So when Lencho counted the money, he found it to be 70 pesos. Then he immediately got angry. Why he gets angry? Actually, he had demanded for 100 pesos, and he believes that God can never do like that. Okay, God must have sent 100 pesos to me, and these crook people, this crook people who are sitting in the post office and including the postmaster, they must have done something, and they must have stolen my 30 pesos which had been sent by God. So here he is questioning the integrity and the character of the fellow or the person who has done a great charity in his life and is helping Lanchu. But still, postmaster did not reply to it, because he knew that Lancho is a very simple man, very gentle man, a man who had faith in the God. Okay, and he did not want to seek his faith in any kind, in any way. So that's why he did not respond to the blame Lencho was charging over him. Okay, Lencho suspected the involvement of the post office employees along with the postmaster, and he told that these people are really very bad. They have stolen my 30 pesos. God had sent me 100 pesos. I had demanded 100 pesos from God. So in this way, he started blaming the um, post office employees. But the fact is that, dear children, the God is nowhere. That is the fact we have to understand. God is nowhere. Then who your God is? Someone who helps you in time of need is your real God. But Lenchu could not find who his real God was on that particular day, because here comes a problem. Lenchu was an illiterate. Maybe he was an illiterate farmer. Okay, he was not educated one. So that's why his perspective of looking at the world was completely different, and he just suspected, without knowing the fact, without any evidence, he suspected the involvement of the person who had really helped him. Anyway, so this is really a very beautiful story, dear children. It happens in our life also. Many times we blame others without knowing the facts. So please be very rational in your thoughts, be very rational in your approach. Do not blame anyone. And one more thing I would like to say, that what to take out of this particular thing, what to take away, what to learn from this particular thing is that have faith in God. That's good. Have faith in God. Okay, we do not know whether God exists or not, but we should have little bit of faith, because that faith only keeps us going in life. That is the one that drives our this this immortal thing that we have in our body, the soul in our body, the soul that drives the immortal soul. Okay, so in this way, faith is good. Okay, and also try to be good to others, like the postmaster, the character which really appeals me a lot, which is really very, very, I think, a highly appreciable character developed by G.L. Fuentesio. I find this character very good hearted, genuine hearted man who could not even see the pain of a common man. He could have simply rejected the letter, he could have simply thrown it in the bin, he could have simply thrown it out or not answered it. But why did he try to answer it? He wanted to restore, he wanted to does not change the faith of a man. Okay, so in this way you can also do. Clear? So such similar, there are many similar stories in life that you might have gone through it in WhatsApp, in Facebook, or maybe narrated by your seniors or maybe family members. Okay, do listen to such stories. These are the beautiful stories that inspire us and motivate us in life. I hope you have understood the summary of this particular lesson. Now, I would request you, dear children, to kindly go through. These are the questions that I have provided for you. Please try these questions. This would help you appreciate the text better. And by the way, one more thing that I would like to request you, that please do not try to copy from internet or from anywhere. Okay, try to develop your own answer, give your originality in writing. That would help you come out or emerge as a good learner. Initially you will struggle to find words to arrange sentences in proper and logical way, but gradually you can see the improvement in your writing and in your way of answering the question. So let us try this one. Who was Lenchu? Why did he write a letter to God? Most of the questions I have taken from NCERT books only, so please need not be worried. Rather, you can try it. Definitely, you should try it. Why does the postmaster send money to Lenchu? Why does he sign the letter God? Number three, why did Lenchu get angry after receiving the letter from God? What were Lenchu's feelings when hail stopped? Who does Lenchu think has taken the rest of the money? What is the irony in the situation? So, with this, we have come to the end of the story, dear children. I hope you have understood the summary. I would request you all to again go through your text and read it, comprehend it, and attempt these questions for better comprehension. Thank you.